So we have these like separations, and what do you think, from your perspective, would need to be done to start curing some of these things, bringing people together?
For the most part, I don't see any kind of, unless I'm just completely naive or oblivious, I don't actually see any kind of issue, unless I don't understand the question. You're saying
in terms of the separate. So if I've had these conversations where you can say to someone black church and then know what you're talking about.
Okay, yeah.
Say white church and people know what you're talking about and whatnot. And then a lot of services are like that. And maybe take it a step further, because then you'd have like an African black church and like a Caribbean black church, and then So in terms of those, what would need to happen for those communities and churches to be molded a lot more in terms of mixing up?
I don't think it's as black and white as that. So, for instance, a church in Ilford. It's funny that you said about the black church and white church thing. In my head, I was thinking, I've never heard Asian church thing. You know,
no.
It's funny, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So it goes, but
I think it's not as black and white as that, because in Ilford.
Is that a pun? Yeah, you keep saying that.
What's that?
Black and white.
Oh my goodness. Because like in Ilford, there's a lot of Asian people, right? So if an Asian church was to come up, that would be meeting a need in that area. Because you have language barrier, you have culture barrier, and all this kind of stuff. Which obviously Christ, if we move kingdom minded, that should be eliminated. But then there's still those kind of superficial barriers. I'm speaking Hindi, you speaking the Queen's English. What's going on? I'm not going to understand. So what I mean by I don't think it's as black and white. I think you do need those kind of churches to meet a need in that area. If that's the 99% of the population is Pakistani and they speak Urdu, then they need to have, do you know what I mean? There needs to be a church like that and so on. If the area is 99% Nigerian and they speak Yoruba, then they need to have, do you know what I mean? There needs to be a service in that language to meet that need. I don't know of any cases where people are genuinely like, nah, at the door, mate, can't come in here be like, I don't know. I've heard of stuff like that in America though, if you're wearing Timberlands, and which is ridiculous, but I don't think it's an issue, again, unless I'm naive or oblivious.
Yeah, I mean, do you think there needs to be a mix? Do you think it's fine to kind of be in those little cultural pockets? Do you think there's actually any need or reason to mix?
Definitely, because you learn more. Yeah, I was reading something the other day. The kids exposed to different cultures and races and so on. It expands them, broadens their minds and stuff like that. So I don't think it's cool, man. You know, to go into church and you've got every nation there. Like, how cool is that? That's the closest thing. And they're all praising Jesus. They're all singing hymns. They're all worshipping. They're all eating off the word. They're all in unison. They're all praying for each other, helping each other. Like the church in Acts. How beautiful would that be? That's the closest thing we will see to heaven on earth.
Yeah.
You know, because we ain't even gonna see colour in heaven anyway. So I do think it's cool, but I don't think it's a pressing issue. I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but I do.
What do you mean when you say we ain't gonna see colour in heaven?
Yeah, because I don't think you saw black and white and Chinese and all of that. It's spirit, innit?
Yeah, we're getting a bit speculative here, but yeah. Because I mean, I think my account would be the Transfiguration, when Jesus was speaking to Elijah. There's something recognizable within our countenances, so I feel like it may be that we had to notice his countenance, or there's a potential that I think there could be a quote unquote racial element, a colour.
But do you think that's down to the tribe? So like, you know, the 12 tribes.
Do
you think that could be like, we just all spirits, but we get some cool badge. So we got the green badge, you have the blue badge and stuff like that.
Yeah, you lose your badge and have to have no badge for penalties.
Which one am I? Who am I?
Yeah,
Give me yours. Just jacking people badges.
Yeah, it's an interesting one though, and I think the issue of race in church in the context. I remember Lecrae at one point getting slated on Twitter for speaking out about things like Black Lives Matter. So it's like, I'm not buying your music no more. Why can't you just stick to the gospel? Why do you need to get involved in like issues? So I think it's a hard balance.
But what did they say?
The context basically was the fact that he was a Christian artist and he was speaking about political issues, basically. And in this context, the political issue was one of race.
And he got slated for being pro Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Wow.